Welcome to Taran's classroom, friends. In today's class, we are going to learn about natural disasters. Nature gives us immense joy, but it can also cause terrible tragedy. This is only called as natural disasters. In today's class, we are going to learn about 7 disasters, and they are earthquakes, tsunami, cyclone, floods, drought, landslides, and volcanic eruptions. But there are many, like avalanche, and a lot of them. First, we are going to learn about earthquakes. Earth's crust is divided into gigantic pieces called tectonic plates. When these plates slide past each other, we feel an earthquake. Earthquakes can be very destructive and they can't even be predicted. Geologists, which means scientists who study about the earth and its rock, cannot predict when it can happen, but they can measure the magnitude by a richer scale and by a seismograph. This seismograph is a machine that has a tiny pen which is attached to a sensitive needle. When the ground shakes, so does the pen. And now I am going to perform an activity to show the magnitude of an earthquake. So imagine that this is a building, and now I am going to shake very lightly. The building just is shaking. Now when I do very vigorously, see, the building is collapsing. This is called the magnitude of earthquake. When the earthquake is very high, the destruction can be very high. When the earthquake is low, the destruction can be very low. And now we can learn about the indicators of an earthquake. The first indicator is the ground begins to shake and things begins to fall down. I showed the activity, no. So when the building is here, when I shake the ground, the building also shake. So this is the first indicator of the earthquakes. The second indicator is cracks can happen in the ground. When the earthquakes happen, cracks can happen in the ground and in the buildings too. Know what to do. If you are outside, stay away from electric poles, buildings and houses that they may fall on you. If you are inside, curl in a tight ball and protect your head if it is possible. And another safety measure to do is, go under any solid thing like table or bed, go under so that you can protect your head when an earthquake happens. And now we are going to learn about tsunami. Tsunami is a giant wave that is caused by an earthquake under the sea. So imagine that here is full of water and here this is the land. When an earthquake happens, imagine if a crack happens, what will happen? It's nothing that the water recedes. It means that the water goes inside the sea, which means this ground it goes inside the crack. So that when the earthquake releases, the tectonic plate releases energy, which means the magma. No, when they release energy, the waves can be very high, and they are known as tsunami. So the tsunami waves are so high that they can be seen from a very high place. And the tsunami is not so destructive, but it can cause floods and it may wash out everything on its way. The indicators of the tsunami is the seawater recedes very fast when a tsunami occurs. Tsunami waves are very high that they can be seen from the seashore. Here when tsunami occurs, we can see from here itself. Know what to do. If you are seeing that the water is so receding so fast, get as far from the beach. And if you see any of the indicators, get as far from the beach and go to the top of a hill or a building. And now we are going to learn about cyclone. Cyclone is nothing than a very severe storm, but it's not as strong as a hurricane, but it's a severe storm that can topple fences, houses and even cars, everything on its way. It's called a cyclone. And cyclone is a severe storm that is caused by winds traveling at great speeds. The cyclone begins at the sea and it gains strength as it moves into land. In the indicators of a cyclone, the sky begins to darken and the strong winds blow accompanied by torrential rain and thunder and lightning. Know what to do. Stay indoors. If you are outside, never be close to the electric poles and houses, everything like trees. Don't take shelter in them. If you take shelter means they may fall on you. And we are going to learn about floods. The floods is a very destructive it's the disaster that the water flows into the land. So imagine that here's a lake or river, and if a flood happens, this water comes into land. So imagine how it will be. The floods can happen for many reasons like tsunami, cyclones, and even the rapid melting of ices. Nowadays the global warming is so high, no? So that the Himalayas, there are a lot of ice, no, they can melt, causing floods. But still it didn't melt, but they can melt. And the first indicators of this flood is the significant rise in the water body like a river, lake, or any reservoir. It's the first indicator of the flood. And we know what to do of flood is you should take shelter in high lands. If you are low means the flood can wash out everything in its way. It can even cover the whole house. So take shelter in high lands. That's the first thing what should do in the flood. Drought. So drought is opposite of flood. In flood means the land will be full of covered with water. Drought means the land will be so dry. That's the meaning of drought. If the drought occurs for many years, like 10 years or millions of years, they can cause famine. It means that starvation. So when the drought occurs, the streams, rivers and everything, the water body is drier. And all the farm crops and the plants, they die. And immediately, we people don't have food. Because if the plants die, means we don't have food. So this is called as drought. So when it happens for so many years, what will happen? Famine. It means that starvation. So indicator. Generally, if the monsoon winds, which means like this, I explained in the last class that southwest monsoon, northeast monsoon. These monsoons have failed means a drought may occur. This is the first indicator of a drought. Now what to do is you should use water very carefully and try and make alternative sources of water like dams and many of them you can alternative sources of water. And next, landslide. So I'm going to now arrange this into the destructive order. So earthquake is the first destructive. The second is landslides. The third one is volcanic eruption. The fourth one is tsunami because tsunami it wipes everything. And the fifth one is floods. And the sixth one is cyclone. And the seventh one is drought. Are you ever imagining why I am telling that the drought is the last? Because drought is predictable. It can be predicted, right? The drought will not occur very suddenly. It will occur only slowly. So only I am telling that drought is a very low destructive disaster. Now we can learn about landslides. Landslides is a disaster that the trees, rocks, everything come down in a steep slope. Which means imagine that this is a land. So when a landslide occurs, it comes like this. This is a hill. So up there will be a big rock. So when it comes down, all the sand, trees, everything moves down, causing a layer of earth to separate from the layer below it. This is called as landslide. It can cause a very, very, very destructive. And don't be, what can I tell, confused between avalanche and landslide. Avalanche is nothing but snow. The hot chunks of ice, they come down in a very big glacier. That is called as avalanche. Landslide is nothing than the sand, everything comes down. The indicator of landslide. That road, do you know what's the meaning of swelling? Imagine this is a road. If it swell means it will come like this. That's called as swelling. In Tamil they will tell us woody. They will tell us that's called as swelling. So that's the first indicator of landslide. The second indicator is a faint rumbling sound of debris falling. Faint rumbling sound like this. If you put the rock down, you will hear a sound. No, like that a faint rumbling sound. It will come for a long time. And that says that a landslide nears. The jamming of doors and windows. Jamming means you can't even open the doors and windows. It's the indicator of landslide. Another indicator is unusual leaning of lamp posts and trees. They are all bent. And know what to do is, if you are suspecting that landslide is very near to your place, just move away from that. And if if you see any of the indicators, stay alert and awake all the neighbors, fire department and police. And next is volcanic eruption. My God, volcanic eruption is very destructive. And in India, one volcano is very active, and it erupted only recently in 2022, I think so. And it occurred in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. It's east of the Andaman and Nicobar Island, but it didn't cause very destruction, but it occurred. Volcanic eruption is nothing than, you know that magma. It's called as hot liquid rock. When magma spills out, it is called as lava. So don't be confused between magma and lava. They both are same. But when the magma is down here, when the magma is here, it is called as when the liquid rock is here, it is called as magma. When it comes out, it is called as lava. Volcanic eruption is nothing than, under the earth there will be a big fireball. Because of the heat, the magma can't even bear the heat. So it bursted out, causing a volcanic eruption. Volcanic eruptions can be very destructive and they can wipe out entire forest and islands. And a volcano in Japan, it had recently erupted in 2018. It wiped out an entire island called as Hawaii Island. So volcanoes can be very destructive. And volcanic ash, when volcanic erupts, we can come with everything like ash, magma, everything it will come out. So the volcanic ash may fill in the air, making it impossible for aeroplanes to fly. The indicator of a volcanic eruption. Most volcanoes give signs before they erupt. Small earthquakes, which means tremors, occur under or around the earthquake. It's an indicator of a volcanic eruption. Then know what to do. If you see any the mud flowing or hot steam or mud, just evacuate the area immediately. Evacuate means just get out of the area. Just display your home or displace your home, or you may get damaged. So what you should do means, if you see any debris falling means, just go away from that area and avoid low-lying areas, which means the valleys and all, avoid very much, because valleys means you know that here are two mountains and just between there is a valley. So those areas you can't even live. When a volcano erupts, it can cause a lot of destruction to those areas. Okay friends, and now I'm going to tell about another thing of natural disasters. It is precautions. Do you know the meaning of forecast? It is the predicting. So I told you that drought is in the last districts because it is forecast, it is predictable. So the floods, cyclone and drought can be predicted. So they are called as forecast disaster. And how the people are warning warning with the natural disaster is by radio, television and by newspaper. People are warned that and natural disaster is occurring. Yeah, and evacuation. Evacuation means, I told you, the people and their belongings are taken to the safer place. So in today's class we learned about what is natural disasters, and we learned about 7 disasters. And we learn of their definition, indicators and what to do, and the precautions of a natural disaster. Thank you friends. Bye. See you in the next class.